Thank you for joining us on another episode of Local Artist
Uh-huh.
with my best friend, Franklin
Hello,
Sinclair.
everybody.
I am Taylor Knott. Our producer is Trace Bailey. Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
It's a beautiful day in every way. Won't you come out and play? Feeling light and gay. Come over to the windowsill. Don't you see how good the sunshine feels? It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.
Worst intro ever.
No, it
I
was a
fucking hate that
beautiful day.
intro.
It was a beautiful
I
day.
really hate it. I'm sorry, everybody. I tried to do a musical and I couldn't do it.
Why didn't you just record another one then?
Shit fucking sucks. Because I already have nothing. If I have nothing, I'm not going to find more in the nothing.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. But you're an artist. Look deep inside. Find your art. Find your beautiful art. I thought it was fine.
It's a shit day. It's a shit day.
No, the day was pretty good. I had a
No,
good
today
day.
was good. I had a good day the other day. I had a weird day.
Yeah,
It was very strange.
tell me about it.
So to get things kicked off, I was driving around. Because I'm a delivery boy.
Delivery boy.
I'm the delivery boy.
Delivery boy.
And I bring the folks their grease.
Their deliveries.
And birth control. Weird amount of birth control. Anyway. Too much. Sometimes there's food and birth control. You go, this person needs to get their shit together.
You ever pop a couple pills?
You can't pop a pill and then chase it with some Little Caesars.
You ever
I mean,
deliver
I
it?
guess it's
you
I
you
guess
gotta
in a
deliver it with
sense.
a one just missing.
Yeah, in a sense, it's actually pretty responsible. But no, I had a weird day. I was delivering, and I was singing in a poke spot.
You
I was
love
picking up from a poke spot,
poke.
and I got a bowl waiting at home.
Mm.
And I was singing that song, alone at the edge of the universe, humming a tune, and feeling something isn't right.
Okay.
A siren song like the goddess symbologies of paradise. I can never remember the words.
I don't
to
even
the
know
second
that
line.
song.
It's a great song. Everybody check out that song.
Who's it by?
It's by Miracle Musical, but it's written in Japanese, and it's Hawaii Part 2 is the album, and that's Sweet Dream in C major.
It's a very
is the
good
song.
song. Anyway, I was singing that song, and the Japanese lady working behind the counter, I'm assuming she was Japanese, I don't know. But she said,
Some sort of a yellow face.
as she passed it off, I was, whoa, okay.
An Asian, sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Anyway, she looks up at me with her.
I like how you pretended to be offended.
Trace, I'm going to need you to bleep that, okay?
No.
No, we're bleeping that.
What?
I'm trying to make it in music. I can't have these things said, but I want
Get
people
out
to
of
know
here.
the implication. You know what I mean?
Whatever.
Anyway, so
You're an
because
idiot.
it's funny,
Yes, leave it.
but I need plausible deniability.
He said,
So anyway, she looks up at me and she says, "Oh, I like listen to your music very much." Oh, I really like listen to your music. And so I felt great. It was a beautiful start to my day. It was actually the intro. That was what was playing in my head after she said that to me. It was very nice. But it kind of thing doesn't happen to you every day.
why is there a napkin here?
I don't know. Could be something Trace was up to. So be careful with that. But anyway, so then I go to the...
This is my favorite story ever.
It gets better. So anyway, then I go to the Mexican spot. This is gonna sound like a stand-up bit from the 90s.
I might take it.
So I go to the Mexican burrito spot, and they always take a long time, okay? I've picked up from this place 100 times, and they're always super late, okay? Just what it is. Anyway, though, this particular day in the kitchen, one of the 4 cooks was getting upset at how slow the other guys were going.
¿Cómo está?
So he starts, and I can't speak gibberish Spanish. It won't sound like Spanish. But he starts in Spanish, like yelling at them, you know? And he works himself into a huff. And as he gets angrier, he starts speaking faster and in a higher and higher pitch. So in the beginning, it kind of starts like this. Rapido, rapido. He's literally, that's like, rapido, paquito, rapido. Like that. He's like so
Little fast.
I don't know what he was,
Paquito, rapido.
I don't know what he was saying, but he keeps going, rapido, rapido, like that.
Yeah.
He gets so frustrated. He rips his apron off. He storms out of the kitchen, right? As soon as the door closes behind him, the other 3 Mexican workers going, rapido, rapido, rapido. It was just very... another thing that really brightened my day.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It was a beautiful day. I'm not finished.
No.
So then I'm driving.
There's more?
right? Then I'm driving, right?
Yeah.
And this... okay, so pull up to a red light, okay? Somebody is trying to pull out of a parking lot onto the street.
Yeah.
Okay? You know how you're supposed to pause, let them go in. You
Yeah.
leave a gap. Well, I was the last car past the intersection where they're trying to pull out of, okay? So I'm looking behind me in my rearview mirror, because it's always a gamble, you know? You never know. Is somebody going to do the courteous thing and let this... They were an old couple in their car, let them onto the road. Or is somebody going to block them off and ignore them, right?
Yeah.
This guy in like a top-down, one of them cars without the ceilings,
A drop top, I believe.
something like that, convertible or something. He's got shades on. He's got the whoopee hair. He's feeling himself.
He's an idiot, is what you're telling me.
He pulls up and blocks them in the intersection, right?
What a power move when you have no windows.
Yes.
You're fully exposed
And
and
I'm
you're like,
watching in the rearview mirror, and the guy's got sunglasses on, and I see him do this. Say you're the old couple.
Okay.
He pulls up. He looks at them and goes like this.
oh my gosh.
He goes, oopsie. Like on purpose, like as a dick to them.
Do you want to know exactly his life? Do you want me to tell you exactly his life?
I would
in
love to hear it
30
because
seconds.
I couldn't believe. I'm like, who is this man?
How old is this guy? He's
he
middle-aged?
looked like early 40s,
Yeah,
maybe late
okay.
30s.
So he just went through a divorce. I promise you he did.
He sees this old couple in
doesn't
love.
really get to see his kids. Not even once every other weekend. But he's also fine with that. He's fine. He's dating the intern who's 23.
Yeah.
She likes that he has a nice car, right? And he's just a douche because he's angry at the world
Yeah.
and thinks he's better than everybody,
He does
but also
pills,
knows
but he
deep
eats
down
right.
that he is a horrible person.
Yeah. But he's embraced his
Oh, yeah.
horribleness.
Yeah. I think at some point you have to make an
couldn't believe it.
excuse.
I couldn't believe it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What a story. What
He
a
hit him with
day.
the whoopsie. There was something else that happened that day. Oh yeah, it was at the end of the day.
This is a record book day.
I drive to
This is a record. No, they didn't do ours. They do L. I was trying to do an Asian.
I drive to this apartment complex, and I meet this old man in the basement to give him his order. The lobby is in the basement.
Okay.
And not the basement, the floor of the building, the ground floor. And
So you're meeting old men in basements. Go ahead.
as I walk in, he says, "You must be Frank." You know, I'm like, "Yes. Here's your food or whatever." He says, "Yeah."
Do you
well,
ever, when somebody says you must be Frank, hit them with just like honest truth?
You're fat.
You must be Frank. Well, you're old as hell.
You have horrible taste. I know what you're getting for lunch.
Yeah.
You have terrible taste.
I tried it. It's not good.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, also I delivered some rhino pills to a guy.
I would imagine that a guy who's getting rhino pills,
Dick hardening pills?
has you just drop it off at the door. They don't want it.
Yeah, but
handed
here's
off,
the thing: is that it's an over 21 purchase only.
So you have to see
You
ID.
have to see ID. Anyway, he was a nice looking fella. He kind of looked like that guy in that car, the whoopsie guy.
Yeah.
Kind of looked like that.
Gross.
Anyway,
It's also not. I mean, it's getting warm outside, but it's still 40 degrees.
Yeah.
To have your top down
oh, it was crazy.
I mean, he has to be cold.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So you're meeting this guy,
Old man.
not rhino pill.
You
man.
must be Frank, and he. That'd be funny if it was rhino pills. He's like a 74-year-old man.
Grandma's interested.
I need to fuck rabbit. Anyway.
Get the rabbit down. That's what she calls me. Little fast.
Anyway. He's like, Frank, that was the name of my late brother, And I'm like, yeah, it's my granddad's name,
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, well, make sure you see the planets tonight. I say, what? He says, make sure you see the planets.
You engage? I would just been like, yep, all right.
There are 7 planets aligning tonight. And then I thought, this has been a very interesting day.
What a day! I saw
It
the
was a weird
moon.
day.
I saw the moon today at 2 p.m. What's up with that?
It's been out early.
What? I
don't
see
know
the
how
sun. I
that
see the
works.
moon. How does
Honestly,
that work?
I'm like a crazy guy. I think I might be going crazy. Because the other day, I swear, it was a couple weeks ago, I saw 2 suns in the sky.
Yeah. Well, that's wrong.
It's impossible. It's impossible. And yet I'm telling you,
You should have taken a picture.
you can't take a picture because when you try to take a picture of the sun, it just
Yeah,
looks like
that's
nothing.
True, I guess.
It's just like a
I was so
fucking like a
confused.
street light.
Well, it wasn't like 2
I was
suns
standing
exactly.
underneath the streetlight. I saw one sun.
It wasn't like 2 suns exactly. It was that there was what seemed to be the sun, like the light source, main light source, going through this big cloud, and I couldn't look at it directly, so I was like, "That's the sun." But then
But
through
hold
the
up.
top of the windshield of my car, where it's kind of tinted,
Yeah.
I could look at it, and it was like way too close to the Earth. So I was like, "That can't be the sun."
Like a meteor is almost hitting Earth.
I was very confused.
Yeah.
I looked it up on Reddit. There were some other people that said
Really?
it was weird too.
Yeah, I don't know the whole moon and sun thing. I was playing outside with my son, and he pointed up. He said, "It's the moon. Why? It's not dark out."
You're like, I have no
And
idea.
I was like, "Whew. This is, yeah, I don't know."
The universe, it's all Greek to me.
Yeah, I'm going back probably 10 minutes because I noted I have a funny story when you were singing at the very beginning of your story, and you went like 2 lines farther than
I
people
should've.
expected you. Yeah. I remember I was at my brother's graduation, and the valedictorian. This is the smartest, in theory, person at the school is giving a speech, right? And she is not very smart, actually. You can tell there's a difference between like a smart person and somebody who happens to get good grades.
Yeah.
And she's going through like memories with the classmates as she's making the speech. She's like, and remember at all the basketball games when Don't Stop Believing would play and we'd all sing along. And they're like, oh yeah.
She didn't.
And then she goes, just a
No,
small
she
town
didn't.
girl. I was like, that's a weird place to start. Like I would have thought, you just hit the chorus.
Yeah.
Living in the lonely world.
Did she go?
Took a midnight train going anywhere. And I'm like,
Wow.
all right, nice. She gets a little applause. Just a city boy. She did the whole
Experience
song.
unplugged.
She sang the entire song.
Of this
It was
new
uncomfortable.
product. This all-encompassing brand new experience. Believe the hype. And don't miss out. It's time for some ad reads.
Trace, take us away.
Well, of course, this show would not be possible without our proud sponsors. So please stick around and just stay with us as we do a quick ad read for our 3 sponsors today. Frank, if you would kick us off.
Yes,
This video is proudly sponsored by Honey. Not that honey. The only sticky situation we want to be in is the wondrous aftermath of consuming our favorite syrupy spread.
I hear that.
To be clear, we do not endorse the controversial online shopping product, Honey. Use code WeLoveHoney and proudly associate with Honey for 20% off your order.
And I want to be clear, you have to use the entire We Love Honey and
With the spaces.
With
in
the
Yeah.
correct grammatical.
yeah, I think a comma needs to be in there. Yeah.
You know about Honey?
Is it like that chocolate thing?
No, it's a popular podcast sponsor.
Isn't it like a sex chocolate?
No.
No, people think it's a data mining scam, but that's alleged.
Oh. All right. This video is also partnered with John Fetterman Carhartt collaboration. If you want some serious senatorial style with the familiar comfort of our classic Carhartt products, you need to get your hands on this swag. Every article produced in this collaboration is being made with the best material. You'll want to stroke the cool fabric for hours. John Fetterman had a stroke. When you're fitted up in a Carhartt jacket, no competing candidate will keep up. You won't need to say a word to come out on top. Thank you, Carhartt and John Fetterman, for keeping the lights on.
And fuck you, Dr. Oz.
Mehmet.
Mimit?
I think his first name is Mehmet.
No, it's not.
I think it
Is
is.
his first name Mimit?
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Oh my god, Mimit Oz? This guy's
Yep,
CIA
Mehmet.
for sure.
Mehmet Sengiz? Sengiz? I'm glad he went with Dr. Oz.
Wow. That's when I knew that Jordan Peterson was going down a weird
Oh, he was a big fan
Trail.
of Mehmet.
when his first appearance on Dr. Oz. It's when he started busting out those suits.
We have one more sponsor for today. We're very excited. It's a big deal.
This is a big deal.
Big deal.
All right.
Do you want me to hold it?
No. And would you take the lid off so I can swig it at the end?
Is that allowed on YouTube?
Yeah, should
I'm sure it's fine.
Cold ones exists.
Lastly, thank you to Jim Beam for supporting our show at every corner. When you need to slick your Jimmy or flick your beam,
That's so stupid.
you gotta go with Jim Beam. Try the brand new flavor, Jim Beam Baja Blast. Thank you, Mr. Jim Beam.
Thank you, Jim.
Once again, thank you to all of our proud sponsors.
Thank you to Jim Beam. That could use a little honey.
Nice.
Thanks.
Yeah. I think I pretty much covered my story, but I thought
Yeah.
it was a funny one. She sang the entire song of "Don't Stop Believing" from beginning to end.
Full Michael Scott.
It was a full Michael, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?"
That's incredible.
She also, a week later, this was at my older brother's graduation.
God, I'm really reeling from that beam.
But thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
It's $1,500 an ad, right?
Yeah, we appreciate your patronage and also that you capitalize on folks like me with addictive tendency.
Notice how I didn't have any. I like to keep a slim figure.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, so this is at my older brother's graduation. My older brother got married when he was 18 years old, right? 2 weeks after high school graduation. this girl who gives the speech is the maid of honor at my brother and his wife's
God, this
wedding.
was the same lady.
Yes.
Oh,
And she gives a speech. And she's 18 years old, you know. So are they. You know, you probably shouldn't get married. Most people at 18, I will say, do not. It has worked out so far, you know. They're very happy. They have a lot of kids. But if you're 18, you don't let your 18-year-old stupid friend give a speech at your wedding, you know.
yeah.
She gets up on the mic, which was handed
Especially
to her.
after at the graduation.
Yeah.
You see that?
You're like,
stunt
that's
she pulled.
Yeah, she starts going into touching, loving, squeezing.
Oh god
Just
damn! I
another
wish this
journey.
bitch wasn't my best friend.
Yeah. So she's handed the mic by the MC, who is the pastor, you know, and the pastor of the church that they went to, you know.
Yeah.
And she's like, I remember
Cleveland.
would always grab her butt in the hallways at school. And I remember seeing the pastor's face like, and then she was like talking about them like kissing at school. And like,
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
they were, she said, my sister-in-law's name, she said, she came to me one day when she was trying to figure out who to date. She said, this guy wants me to go to youth group with him. Or the hot basketball player wanted me to go out and get dinner with him. And she's like, who should I choose? And I was like, do what your heart feels. And she went to youth group and now we're here.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh my. Like, just like the hot basketball player or Jake,
Yeah.
you know?
Wow.
And
She was telling tales out of school.
literally. Yeah.
She was telling him about Titty Grab Tuesday.
Yes. We talked about this a little bit.
just
Unbelievable.
briefly.
We're not even that old, but how times have changed. In middle school, we had Nut Tap Tuesday. The girls would hit the guys' nut sacks, right? And then the same day it was Titty Grab Tuesday. So the guys in middle school would be able to molest
You could reach out and grab some titty,
you. Yeah,
but
you might get your nuts tapped.
yeah.
Yeah. And everybody just agreed that it was fine and did it. Right? Could you imagine that happening now? You would be probably put in jail, and maybe some of them should have been, but it was crazy. Looking back, even in like high school, I was like, that's so crazy that we did that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, there's like Butt Grab Wednesday, which isn't a very clever name, I'll be honest. And then Fondle Friday. It was
There's something about when there's like a good alliterative advertisement, like a good slogan for it that almost softens the blow.
yeah.
But there was just Butt Grab Wednesday. There's no excuse.
Like it's Wednesday and we'd like to grab butts. I have nothing else. I think you can see how we got there, but yeah, I don't know what would be a good Wednesday.
So was this really strict though? Like if you grabbed a titty on a Wednesday, would you like somebody tells the principal?
I mean, you have to know, like, you don't just go up to like a girl who isn't on the in.
Yeah.
We all agreed to a set of standards
There was still
and
a
rules.
respect for civil
Of
liberty.
course, yes, yeah. It was probably the wrong move. But I wonder if they have something like that. Trace, you're a few years younger than us, and you're absolutely appalled.
You look like Kamala Harris's campaign manager behind the camera of every interview.
What are your thoughts on this?
Just head and hands, like Jesus Christ.
Did you go
what
to
have I
public middle school? Did you go to
associated
public
myself
middle
with?
school?
No. I was homeschooled in middle school, and then in high school, I went to a private school.
We still had Nut Tap Tuesday at home school.
What do you think about Nut Tap Tuesday and Titty Grab Tuesday? It was the
What's
same
your
day.
take on
Yeah,
that?
that's pretty shocking.
It's pretty bad, isn't it?
I think
Yeah,
it
that's
sucks.
awful.
I think that sucks.
That is not one of our proud sponsors. We do not endorse that.
No, of course not. Look, I didn't grab any titties. I'll be honest, I didn't.
Man,
Didn't. I got my nuts tapped a couple times.
The more things I learn about public school, the more it's hard for me to not think that it's a form of child abuse.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't
it's
think
pretty bad.
anybody gets through. Like, when do they even start sending kids to school? Fucking
5.
5? Why? For what?
To learn.
Make it easier. What do they learn? Here's a circle.
Here's a titty and
Here's
it's
what
Tuesday.
a cow is. Yes, this is what they learn is fucking sexual deviance.
Yeah.
That's effectively what they
I
learn.
just hit a mouth sound.
And how
pretty
to
hard.
be prejudiced and fall into cliques and just be subject to groupthink.
Yeah, but when you're on top of the mountain like Daddy was, it's a pretty good experience.
Yeah, sure, but that doesn't validate the system to say, well, the dictator's life is great. You know what I mean?
Well, I have no other outlook on it. I have no other perspective other than I was the dictator. Especially middle school. I mean, me and like a group of my friends, we were the dictators.
Yeah.
We said Wednesday is butt grab Wednesday. I know
Right.
it doesn't make sense, but don't question it. Grab a butt.
Yeah, it's fun if you get to make the rules.
I remember being so like anti-normal middle school stuff, and it was probably because I did grow up in church, and I have convictions. Even when I was 12, 13, I had kind of a girlfriend in middle school, but it was like middle school girlfriend or whatever, and she was like trying to hold my hand walking down the hall, and we were about to pass a teacher, and I was like, me and the teacher are on the same page. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, we're 12. I know this is ridiculous. You know this is ridiculous. And I dropped her hand and walked past the teacher, and I was like, nothing's happening here. And she's like, why'd you drop my hand? I was like, I didn't want her to think that I thought I had a girlfriend at 12 years old. I was just so far above it all. I remember sending an email to my 7th grade English teacher because we found out, like, she took, like, a long absence because her, like, young son had cancer.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, he survived. I'm almost positive. And I sent her an email. I went to the website of our school, like the administration list, and I found her email. I sent her an email.
Oh, here we go. Another segment.
I'm excited for this one. I see how far this goes, and it's crazy.
I was feeling it.
You were hitting this.
I'm not cutting this out.
Trace, I can see this. It keeps going.
I personally think it's kind of good.
That was good.
Let me guess your hot take.
Okay, you're not going to.
Reinstituting
No, but I want to hear.
Titty Crab Tuesday.
That's not a hot take. That is. I think that if everybody can agree to that, that's a great take.
Yeah, I think Trump could probably push that over.
Did you watch any of the whatever he did on
His
Tuesday?
speech
Yeah.
where he made the 13-year-old boy a Secret
His dad
Service
trying to he's like, he's so heavy.
No, it's awesome.
I did
great.
get teared up when I saw that, because whether he's like
But what if it's real?
he just starts,
Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
I thought of that same joke when I watched it. I'm glad you said that. That's hilarious. It was
Takes it way too seriously.
hey. Okay, here's my hot take.
Yeah.
I think that every adult who watches anime should be investigated for crimes against children.
Ooh, I like this hot take.
Yeah. Trace? The resident anime fan?
I don't actually watch a lot of anime. I watch a lot of a couple specific animes, whatever. I'm not big into the scene, but there are a couple of shows that transcend it being anime that I'm able to appreciate.
You're not an otaku.
I hope not.
I'm not trying to get my door knocked
Although
on.
I am taking
Officer.
Japanese on Duolingo.
I'm watching anime and then a 13-year-old with brain cancer kicks down my door.
Hey,
Get on the ground.
are you watching Naruto? I think that's fair. I think it leads into very quickly. What's the
What's the
bad
anime
version
porn?
of it? Yeah,
Hentai.
hentai.
I don't know.
Me neither.
Yeah, what is that called?
And that is horrendous to me.
Uh-huh.
And I think just
you never
just being
jacked
just
off
in,
to any cartoons?
Oh no!
You never like saw The Lion King?
Are you doing the elephant in Lion King?
She gives you those eyes after
Nala?
they roll down the hill. Yeah, you know her name and shit.
I have kids. Okay, we watch
Yeah,
it.
you shouldn't show them that fucking propaganda.
I know. I cover their eyes. He's like,
Because
"Ooh."
I think what you're directing at anime could be equally directed at Disney for sexualizing.
He searched Nala bedroom eyes. I want you
Yeah, it's
to
a
clear
real
your
thing,
history.
though. Look at that.
It's not bad.
She's ready for it.
Okay. You remember
And
when?
he's pinned her down on the ground. It's very sexual.
Okay. You remember?
I'm just saying this is a thing in cartoons in general.
Let's get back to my hot take.
Your xenophobia is showing by just pointing at an anime. Because it really is like
No,
you see,
I say end Asian hate.
Sword in the Stone as a kid. The squirrel scene.
You said you liked.
That got me real bothered
said you
when I was
liked-
9 years old.
You said you liked my take.
I love your take. I think it's a great take.
Do you remember?
What do you mean investigate? Or sorry, do I remember what?
It was probably a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years now. It was when our friend Jonathan moved back, and he had found a package on the side of the road.
Yes.
We were hanging out at your house. He brought it.
Yeah, it was thrown. It seemed like it was thrown out of a car window at a high speed.
Yeah, I'm going
That
to
was
send
the
this.
condition.
I'll send you the picture if you can add it in or something. It's of him holding up the shirt, which was like a triple XL, by the way.
Yeah,
But it's a very busty anime character, and there was
Well
multiple
yeah,
pieces or articles of memorabilia.
yeah. And then he tried to see if the guy wanted it back.
Yeah, he found him on Facebook.
Found him on Facebook,
And
'cause
he didn't
had his
respond.
address and his name. Yeah, and the
Which
guy
is
looked
fair.
exactly like who you would think would
Yeah.
order that.
How old are these anime characters? How old are these?
don't know.
What's the? I'm sorry, I really don't remember hentai. I don't remember.
Good cover.
Thank you. How old are these supposed to be?
Can we
This
do
is
a
how you
quick
can get
word
away with.
association, just to test your steel.
Yeah,
Tentacles.
octopus.
Okay, you're good. You're in the clear.
That's all?
I think so.
Okay.
What were you trying to?
That's a hentai thing.
Tentacles?
Yeah, octopi with dicks on their tentacles.
13-year-old bust in his door tonight.
Well, so yeah, what do you mean investigation?
Just I think that
Should
if
there
you
be
were,
like a registry?
if you were to find hentai pornography on a man's computer,
Yeah.
I think that there's above a 50% chance that you would also find some kitty stuff on there as
Oof.
well.
And do you mean drawn like animated like the other hentai? Or are you thinking
I think it's a Jared from Subway situation.
Ooh. You really think so?
I mean, not to that degree,
I don't know
but
if it's 50%, but I would be willing to venture that it's
I think their
probably a-
search history, if you can
troubling
find it, is
amount.
going to be like teen stuff, middle school girl stuff. This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm picturing an anime fan. He looks similar to you, actually. He's a little bit dirtier and probably 50 pounds heavier.
Okay.
And not
He's
married.
got
I mean, you're
this
married
neck
at
beard I
least.
got, but no on the face.
Yes.
Just on the neck.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're picturing the same
Uh-huh.
guy. I'm picturing,
Fedora.
please, for the love of God, Trace, bleep this name out. I'm thinking
Cleveland.
Sure.
from,
So, what does the fatness have to do with the kitty attraction?
it's like you can't get any girl your age.
Yeah.
You're just, I don't know. But you know it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I know what you're
I
saying.
can't quite explain it other than maybe you just
No, there's
don't get
definitely
somebody.
something there. I think, you know what else I think is there? Because you see this when you work with people where their mental age is a little younger than their actual age. You see this kind of tendency as well, where I think there's an identification with being a kid. Like, we're picturing a guy that is.
Sorry, I want to.
We're picturing.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
We're
I want to
pic-
send I want to send a
Wow.
TikTok video to
We're
Trace.
okay.
God.
We're picturing a guy that like has sort of deliberately never grown up. You know what I mean? That's like never
Yeah.
taken any kind of responsibility or has any sense of independence and wants to remain a child forever. So I think that's part of it. So again, when you say investigated,
Look, just check them out. I'm not saying arrest them.
you're saying just take a look.
Just see.
Hack the computer and figure
Just
out
check
what's
it out.
on
Yeah,
there.
I want more government
Intervention.
investigation. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Take all the money
I think
Elon
that's
is saving
fair.
us
Yeah.
and put it all toward guys who are into anime. That's my hot take for the week. That's the one that I had written down
like
a couple
that.
weeks ago in case the
That's a great hot
first
take,
one.
Taylor.
What was my last hot take?
Kendrick halftime show.
Yeah, that was the one in case that one didn't work. I've always just thought, or it's either pedophiles or black nerds.
Mm-hmm.
They're
The black
very
nerds are fine.
they're fine.
Yeah.
Let
you
them
don't
go.
need to worry about those guys.
Yeah, but it's only two groups of people, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they can't grow a real beard,
Mm-hmm.
check that computer out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
I agree with that.
Thanks. I'm glad we were on the same page. So it's not that hot of take.
Well,
In a certain setting, it's
yeah,
not that
when you
hot.
have two guys that are very similar.
Yeah.
I honestly hate that because every lady that I've talked to about the podcast off the show, they have all said the same thing of like, oh yeah, you have your conservative white guy boys cast. But I don't know, because I don't really have a true political ideology or an agenda that way.
No, we're just chatting.
Yeah, so
And-
I hate it that it's a thing of like I
But-
mean,
yeah, I
but
don't
it's
know, you can't-
criticizing us just for what we are. But I don't know how to not be
Right. But you
On
don't need
this
to be
episode of Shark Tank,
something or not. Ooh.
entrepreneur Frank Sinclair has got a business venture to show the sharks. Will Frank get the deal he's looking for today? Or will he remain in poverty forever?
Am I the shark?
Hello,
Are we the
sharks.
All right.
I'm not gonna do this too too improv-y because I didn't prepare. I should have like written a whole presentation and stuff. But in this ever-changing world, that the trend is continued specialization. So more fringe subsets of things that appeal to people.
Okay.
Right? Fewer people, but more fervent people.
Get to the point.
Okay. I'm asking $400,000 for 50%. Because I need to get off the ground. I need to get started here. But what do we see? What do people need every day?
For 50%, you said?
400 grand.
So you're valuing your business at $800,000.
That's
What
right,
of your
baby.
sales?
So
Actually, I don't even
haven't
know the
started-
product.
I haven't started yet.
Okay.
But if you'll let me get through my presentation,
It's
please.
a crazy thing to say the what you want before even telling us what the product is.
I thought that's what they do when they walk in. Because
Maybe I'd have to. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm asking 400,000. 50% of my idea. So specialization, right? More individualistic specialization, more intense, fervent, smaller groups of people in more niche categories, right? This is what's appealing to people. This is the trend. This is the way that the world is going. What do people need every single day of their lives? Food.
Yeah.
So it's a food business. Think about Chipotle. Think about Five Guys. Think about Mod. Think about Mongolian Grill. What do they all have in common?
Food.
That the customer gets to specify the meal that
If I
they
thought about
eat.
it, I would have got there. Yeah.
They don't pick off a menu. They get to improvise their own
Yeah.
meal.
Okay.
But there's one cuisine that has not been tapped into yet, and it's just sitting on the table. It's hot and ready, sitting on the table.
I'm excited.
Lasagna.
Doesn't it take like an hour to make
You,
lasagna?
you could have traditional marinara lasagna. You could have white sauce lasagna. You could have pesto lasagna. You could have red, white, and blue, red, white, and green, all three together lasagna. You could have enchilada lasagna. You could have
You said enchilada?
enchilada lasagna, burrito lasagna. You could have. I'm just saying that the concept of lasagna has not been properly elaborated.
Do you think there's a reason for that?
It's just sitting on the table. So here's the plan, okay? You go into the store. There's the guy across the
restaurant,
glass
yeah.
screen, and then you get your base lasagna. You get to pick your sauce. You get to pick your fillings, and you get to customize each layer of lasagna. You could have a 7-layer lasagna.
I think the problem here is the time it takes to cook a lasagna. Do you have a...
So we have everything hot and ready, hot and ready to go.
How could that possibly be with all the combination
Air fryers. Every store would be equipped with about 50 air fryers.
I still think it's probably going to take...
You bring your own little, or we have them. Either way is fine. Your own little disposable aluminum 4x4 cake sheet.
Mm-hmm.
You go up to the guy, he puts the first layer down. You get adobo. You get sriracha mayo. You get whatever you want. You could make any kind of lasagna you want. And you could call ahead to cater big custom lasagnas, big custom ones.
Here's what I'm willing to offer.
'Kay.
I will give you $100,000 for 75% of your company.
It's a deal, you fucking moron. No, I'm just kidding. But
What are your sales the last year?
I have a question as far as pricing goes.
yeah.
Is it priced per ingredient or per layer of lasagna?
Just cubic size. So you have a small. You could have. We have our 8 staple lasagnas. You could just go in and get a slice
That's
for
so
$5.
many staples.
You could go in and get a slice for $5.
Yeah, but that's just your basic grandma's
You could
lasagna.
have a lasagna. No. We would have interesting. We would have buffalo chicken lasagna.
Okay,
We would have all sorts of different cuisines.
I'm out.
Can I tell you this? Why this was funny to me?
Why?
Because a couple nights ago,
You were watching Shark Tank.
actually, I think this was on the same weird day I had when I got home at night. I had a
Shark
little
Tank.
bit. I had a little bit to drink. I had a little bit of stuff. Yeah. And I had some stuff. And I was like, man, I got to stop being a delivery guy. It's putting too much wear and tear on my car. What could I do? And for about 30 minutes,
You came up with this
I
lasagna bit?
legitimately thought that this was a great idea.
Restaurants are never a good idea.
It's a horrible idea.
It's the worst idea maybe I've ever heard.
It's such
And for those
a bad
reasons,
idea.
I'm out.
Who wants to go to a restaurant that only serves lasagna?
And what's the wait time on that? I don't know, hour 20.
It was literally like
Spit so hard.
25 minutes in, writing down notes on my phone. Different ideas
You were
for
invested.
lasagnas.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then it just clicked at some point. It's just like, what the fuck am I thinking? This is so stupid. My original idea was like having like a food truck.
Do you still have your notes?
I don't know, actually.
I want to know what they
That would be
say.
awesome.
Yeah, lasagna might be one of the worst ideas I've ever heard. I mean, spaghetti's a better idea.
Well, hold on,
okay,
hold
here
on.
we
What's the
go.
name of the business?
Here we go. I don't know.
You didn't get that far.
I didn't
That's
get
a
that
lot of
far.
notes. I see it. That's a lot of notes.
It's titled Lasagna Business Venture. Making 7-layer lasagnas with specialized recipes. Red, white, and pesto buffalo chicken. Burrito lasagna. Surf and turf lasagna.
I'm interested in surf and turf lasagna.
At first, I thought like a street vendor or out of an apartment. But then Sarah said, fancy sit down. Like,
You guys were talking about
this
this.
was the moment I realized was she said it could be a fancy sit down.
To be fair, it's not far off from the Cheesecake Factory.
No, but
You were talking to your wife about this? This is something that I would silently like put down and then be like, oh my
day
gosh.
at the park, they go, let's take a break from frisbee to have a couple of pieces.
You know what I feel like on this
lasagna.
85-degree day? Some hot and ready to go
Because it's not
buffalo chicken
'Cause I was
lasagna.
thinking like a piece of pizza or a burrito where you can customize it. It's like walking with a plate of lasagna. Just so.
You said ground beef?
Oh my god.
No, I said shredded beef.
Oh, you know what led to it too? Really, is that I had just
The drinks and the
No, well, it was a day or two earlier. I'd made a really good lasagna, which it was half red sauce and half white sauce.
does sound good.
It was very delicious.
Can we just state real quick, if anybody tries to take that business idea and run with it,
Yeah.
they owe Frank royalties.
And I would suggest you don't try it. The only way a lasagna works is at like an Italian restaurant where you're sitting down, you're going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
To go through like a mod pizza line
The idea of
and
it.
you're sitting down while it's in the oven
Waiting
for an hour.
3 minutes for it to be cooked and ready.
And then you get it, you're like, I said white sauce. They have to cook
Oh,
it. You got to go through it all again.
I do think you could actually cater lasagna though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
And
Italian
actually
restaurants
specialty
cater.
lasagnas.
Yeah,
as well.
it's not a horrible idea.
It's not a
I mean, it's not
horrible
a
idea
bad-
to
it's
make and eat
not a good idea.
yourself.
Yeah.
It's probably not gonna
What
bring.
do
in the
I
big
feel like
bucks.
tonight? Yeah.
Yeah.
Little white sauce, little buffalo chick.
Oh man.
It's not bad. Look, it's not bad. I mean, it is bad. Your idea is bad.
Well, I think the idea of making a lasagna where it's not the traditional ingredients, because it's similar to a sandwich, like a hot sandwich. You could
Yeah.
design it in different ways, and it would be delicious.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I don't think it translates.
Maybe
No.
you like
Into the
order it
marketplace.
online or like call it in ahead of time.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like a
kind of like
pizza.
catering
Yeah,
type.
it'd be
yeah.
like for a party.
Yeah,
You know,
it would
yeah.
have to be. You have to
Right.
call in an hour ahead, which then you're not really getting much business because then people are like, "I'm hungry. What do we want for dinner
Yeah,
tonight?"
exactly.
And you're like, "How about this lasagna place that's gonna take? It's 6:30. We might get it at 7:30."
Yeah.
It's just.
No,
Look, it's
it's
not
a
bad.
very-
Maybe switch it to spaghetti. It's a little bit.
I don't know.
I'm not a huge spaghetti guy.
Well, it's just like the idea of like zoning in on one type of dish so that you could customize it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I don't know. I think at this point, most ideas are taken. You have to do a better version of an idea.
Done, yeah.
And the fact that a lasagna fast food place has not been done is probably proof that it's not gonna work. I mean, you have. I feel like maybe there's others, but I was surprised. I don't know how long Mod has been around. Actually, it feels like it's been newish. Maybe it's just because it's been newish
I
to
think
us.
it started somewhere around 2014.
Yeah, but that seems crazy that nobody's thought. I mean, that's Kramer's idea in Seinfeld. He's like,
Almost.
he wants to make it
He's
and put
like,
it in the
you
oven.
toss the dough and cook
but
it yourself. Yeah.
it's it's crazy if it was 2014 that nobody had thought of you specialize or whatever, customize your pizza in front of you. We
Yeah.
throw it into a wood fire
Takes
thing.
8 minutes.
Oh, max.
Yeah.
And then you have it, and that's genius. It's
a
the
very
same
good
price
spot.
no matter how many toppings you get, and it tastes good. I mean, it's a good pizza. Honestly, it's a pretty good pizza for the price and how fat, and you can
Pita
customize it.
Pit.
Yeah, Pita Pit,
Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's, Subway.
Why
But
not lasagna?
well, I think there's a lot of reasons why. But I'm just saying, I'm surprised that it took so long for pizza.
Ooh, maybe you do it like Papa John's, where people take it to bake at home.
Papa Murphy's.
Papa Murphy's.
Yeah, Papa John's is not doing so hot. They've closed I think all their locations in
Dude,
Spokane.
sometimes I pick up from Papa John's. It is a guaranteed half hour late.
Papa
Just
John's.
period. Yeah.
Is there? There's one left in Spokane. It's like
There's
north,
the
right?
one off of like Monroe and Northwest Boulevard where somebody drove their car through the front of it. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Maybe I can't.
Actually, all the other ones are usually on time. That one's the late one.
I mean, it went downhill right after Papa John hit the N word.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
And now they changed the recipe and stuff. He's like,
oh yeah,
it's
he's not happy
good.
about it. He's like these.
That is crazy. that he
It's
did
not.
that.
It's not.
Why did he do that?
I think it was like an old, like something, like a video just came out or something. Like it was like 2020 when it was all happening. And I want it to be clear, I don't think you should be hitting the N-word. Frank has a different thought about it, but it's so funny. This isn't an original thought. This was from a different podcast. I don't know which one. They're like, so Papa John, hits the hard end, right? And so he's out as the spokesperson. Who do they bring in but Shaq? They're like, if any of your CEOs hits the N-word, you just bring Shaq, right? You bring the biggest black guy possible to try to save your brand.
He can do it.
Yeah.